What's up, everybody? Will Knight here, and I'm joined with
Matt McKinley.
There we go. And you guys have seen the first episode of this series already, where we went over Fire Force with you guys. But I told you that the next one up is going to be Magi.
I completely forgot.
Yep. Yeah. I had to go ahead and do it to you. So, this is a series that I really loved. I would always tell people to read it so that they can get more of the experience with it, because the art style of Magi is the thing that really hits home with the emotion of what's going on.
But I don't have time to read, as the Great Predator line went.
Yeah, fair enough. So we're just going to have to show you some anime intros, and then you're going to tell me what this story is about.
I'll do my best.
Yep. So today, like I said, we are going to be checking out Magi, which is that thing like right over this way. 4 intros again. So it'll
It
be.
seems like there is a pattern going on with Japanese television, but they need to inform the rest of the world that there's a different structure.
I mean, Japan likes to do how Japan does.
They like to stir up the pot a little bit.
Yeah. But we're gonna hop on into this, see what you have to say. This wasn't gonna be super interesting for me. Remember, you get 3 questions throughout the entirety of the video until we get close. And I didn't rate how close you were last time, but you got pretty close, so I felt confident with telling you.
I got a pretty close out of an Inferno demon.
Yes. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this. Before we do, let's cue the intro. Alright. Think we're all set. Think we're all copacetic. Let's go ahead and check out intro 1 for Magi. I still love this intro so much, man.
I will say this: anime music has like some of the best intro music to shows. It gets you pumped. That's what it's supposed to do. That's why I don't think that Screamo is the best way to do it.
You're still on Mayday, huh? Man, that's my boy right there, man. That's one of my favorite anime characters of all time.
Of all time?
All time.
This is a newer anime, right?
Yeah, it's been out for some time.
Okay.
It's been out for some time.
20 years.
No. Here. I mean, probably at least a decade, maybe.
No.
I don't know exactly when they started for this one, but I know that it finished after we were done with college. So about it. Any questions that you want to ask now going into it?
I'm starting to pick up a little bit of what is being put down, including that I'm not going to ask the question, but to think that Magi and magic are only one letter apart might answer a little bit more of how magical of a world this might be.
Okay.
But I'll just have to see.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Let's continue on into opening 2 and see how magical this world truly is. It's crazy to me. These are some of the best openings that I've heard, and a lot of people who vote on opening music don't ever come to this. Yeah.
Their top 10 list.
Yep. Or like when they do reactions of shows, no one does like reactions to Magi.
They got the magic carpets. They had like a little Jin like character before.
So how magical the world looking to you?
Very bold in how it's exploring the world once again as the show goes on. They had Earth that they were focusing before, and now it's getting into the open ocean, the sea. They have to travel more. A lot more characters. A lot. And I'm assuming that this second intro is like actual footage in the show.
You know what I know? It's funny. They have not shown you a character that wasn't in the first intro.
Huh. Okay.
There's no one wholly new. I will say that they gave more shine to a lot of characters.
There we go.
There were like some group shots in the first.
Yeah.
That or some quick shots in the first. But all the prominent characters that are in this second opening were in the first one.
Even the one that I focused on in the very beginning with that mask.
Okay, I give you that. Those three are new.
Does that count on one of my questions?
No, it does not.
No, it does.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I'm not cruel.
Oh, there will be an intro one of these days that will be cruel. But I think that this one is just magical. It's wholesome. Mm-hmm. It makes me happy. It's the one thing of trying to figure out. I don't know if there's a mystery going on. I think it's just an adventure series. Mm-hmm. Seems like a lot of youth are trying to save the kingdom or something like that. I like the banquet scene, if it actually is going to be in the show. Mm-hmm. I just don't know what other side characters might have their own gimmicks.
Okay. All right. Feeling pretty good. You holding on to them questions so much, I might redact my statement and say that counted. But nah, you're doing pretty good. I'm glad that you were getting a good, solid opinion.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and get into opening 3, which is the start of season 2.
Yes.
Alright, so you ready for the new character dump right here?
Oh, okay.
Because you got a lot of them right there.
Well, it's one thing of where you have like your 4 set main characters, and now we got 12 or more.
Yep.
And even this intro is the one that opened the slowest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's our main ones. And like the least happened in this one.
Ooh.
No.
Alright, so
the least happened in the third one.
Mm-hmm.
More characters are in there, so I'm wondering what happens in the show that I'm not getting to see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna use a question.
Alright.
Is this in the style of like Earthsea, of where they're in just one place and that's it? And then the rest of the world is just always spoken about and in illusions and stuff like that?
No, they go to other places, and the other locales of the world are extremely important.
Okay.
But I will say that it's not like One Piece, to where it's always something new or uncharted. They're very well established places within the world. They just go from A to B because XYZ thing needs to happen. Mm-hmm. A lot. But the places are very diverse. I don't even know how to accurately answer, other than to say within the first couple of episodes we switch locations very quickly.
Oh, well, perfect.
Like, I'm at least by episode 3 or 4
Kids,
you are in 2 different places.
Sometimes being uncomfortable somewhere means you're getting comfortable somewhere else.
I will say that they have the same theme though. So
magical.
Yes, but a very certain type of magic that I will say, unless you can guess it, I will say it. But a very certain type of magic is the inspiration for the show, and the world feels inspired by that type.
I'll hold off.
Mm-hmm.
I will abstain.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. So you ready to hop into intro 4, the final intro?
It's the only piece of information I got left.
Oh, I guess technically it's not. Okay, there might be a secret 5th one, technically.
What does that mean?
We'll find out.
What does that mean?
I'll
You didn't do your research.
No, I did. I do know it, but I realized that they didn't include it, and now I understand why. But it is a part of the story, so I'm going to show it to you regardless.
Okay.
Oh, right. So this is the Kingdom of Magic, no longer the Labyrinth.
Oh, it upgraded. They finally got enough Civ points.
I can't wait to ask you which character stands out the most to you in this thing.
Well, you might be surprised. It's just strange. It's not a different art style. It's just like a different color palette.
Yep. Like I said, everyone falls around the same category, but they do feel like they're on diverse places.
Yes.
Ooh,
All right.
that was faster than I was. All right, so that was opening 4. There is a secret 5th one that I understand why they didn't include into this, and I'll explain why before you make your guess and before we watch it. So essentially, the 5th one is a prequel that came out after the main anime was already done. So it is it's a continuation of the story, but it's set before this actually happened. Opening 5, technically, Magi, The Adventures of Sinbad. And just keep in mind, it is a prequel.
Okay.
Man, I tell you, all the intros for this series are good.
I'm not going to rank them.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't ask me to. It's just also the one thing of I'll holistically agree with you. All of them are good for Magi.
Yes.
Fire Force.
Yeah, I know.
Episode 2 is below all the others.
Mayday is the one.
Mayday has a problem.
I don't know really what they were going on for with Mayday. I don't even hate the song. It's just that I don't feel that it fits the other 3 that are in the same show.
I think they were calling for help. Ooh, I like that shot. Grabbing the horizon.
Yeah. So
Okay,
that is The Adventures of Sinbad. Yes.
So, now I have to think about it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's obviously in a magical land. What is the main plot driving force without giving too much away?
No, it's funny because even if I tell you the main plot, it's not going to give away what happens in the story. The story revolves around
the Legend of the Thousand Nights.
Yeah, actually. Yeah,
Bam. It wasn't Sinbad that gave away. It was actually me guessing from that djinn and that flying carpet.
Yes. Yep, there you go. So, the main plot of the story revolves around these basic towers where jinn are known to dwell.
Yeah.
They're basically magical towers that warp space and reality within them. And at the very center of them are what they call jinn vessels, which is pretty much their equivalent of a magic lamp.
Yeah, the genie lamp. You rub it, and then they come out.
But in this world, they can be anything, like from swords to flutes and to XYZ thing, that whatever they wanted it to be. Essentially, a lot of explorers and everything adventure into these towers. I forget what they're actually called, but it doesn't really matter. They're not super important other than to let you know they exist.
They're djinn strongholds.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And essentially they try their hardest to take out the djinn vessel that is inside, but a lot of people can't actually do it. However, the way that you are specifically given a better chance of doing it is if you're chosen by a Magi, which is Japan's way of saying Magi, instead of
Oh,
there you go.
I was so close,
No,
but I thought too dumb.
No, you thought on the right level because I think that's what they really intended to go for, but it is their translated way of saying Magi, because I know they don't pronounce it right, but I call it Magi specifically because that's how they call it in the show. So in order to keep with their continuity, I'll always call it Magi for this. But it is Magi. They're supposed to be the guides.
But it makes
that take you.
It makes sense in its own regard of where something written down by one person handed it across the room to somebody who doesn't natively speak it, reads it in a different way, is no different than for me to say, yeah, I come from Kansas, but my aunt lives in Arkansas. If I were to write both of them down, somebody might ask the question, well, why is that not Arkansas?
Yes. Essentially, the Magi are supposed to select people who have the qualities of a king, and they are supposed to guide them to receive the Jinn vessels so that they can essentially create the kingdom that the Magi believes should be entered into the world.
So that's why the show later switches from being the magical labyrinth to the kingdom.
Yes, but the main strangeness of the show is that there are only 3 Magi that exist in the world, and the blue-haired boy came in one day and states that he is another Magi. So
there were 3 before him. And
yes, there are only supposed to be 3.
Oh.
And there were 3 within the world before him, but he just showed up and essentially has the ability of a Magi. So it's like following the adventures of the blue-haired boy, Aladdin, as he introduces himself to the blonde-haired boy, Alibaba, and their adventures of how Aladdin believes that Alibaba is to be a future king within this world.
Wow. I wonder what other names might pop up. What is
the
the red-headed girl?
Morgiana.
Morgana. Yay! Okay, Morgan Le Fay of the fairies. Yay! Wow, this is going all over the place. I actually do like it because it's the right kind of thing of where I would have never guessed.
Yeah.
For the life of me, this is what the characters' names are.
Yeah.
And I think it's like one of those times where you throw the jar in front of people with beans and you tell them to guess like how many thousands are in there.
Yeah, because I was just like, I didn't have a problem telling you the plot as your question because it was just like, bro, that's just the setup of the show. Yeah. That does not go into what actually happens per arc. And it's so diverse on what they choose to focus on that it's almost like, is that even really the story or is it just the background? I will say they tie everything together in the world, but it feels like a real world with the way that they tell the story.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other things that are going on, but as you explore those, you start to understand the overarching story. So yeah, that's your question. That is the plot.
Now, you want to know which character, like, I picked out.
Well, you can ask your other questions first.
That's
one.
So now I have all 3, or I use 2. So I got one more.
Okay, one more.
What is, like, the best episode to start somebody out on this show that isn't the first episode of it?
That isn't the first episode?
Yes. That would help them understand, like, this is what Magi is. Like, if you were to say, like, this is the episode that you should watch. Because not every show is it the pilot episode that actually is the best one to get somebody started.
You're not wrong. Okay, it's super early in, but after Alibaba and Aladdin get out of the first dungeon, I believe that's what they go with. When they escape from the first dungeon, there's a part where they're separated. And I don't remember how long it is. It's like 1 or 2 episodes, but then they meet back up. And time has passed, so they feel like different people encountering each other. That episode is a good one to start into, because it then gives you more of like a feeling of how the story is going to progress. I would say that the setup and everything in the first couple episodes are good for understanding what the world has to offer, but that's the one where the story starts becoming like a real plot.
The real light has been ignited.
Yeah, I don't remember which episode that one is specifically.
But it's in the first season?
Look it up. It is in the first season, and it's within the first 8 episodes, probably.
And there's what, 16 per season?
There's like 13?
13?
No, it's either 13 or 26. per season.
Okay. We'll find out
Can't
later.
remember.
But you want to know which characters like I picked out.
Yes.
Just like visually for me to be able to tell.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking more at like the red-haired girl and why there wasn't like anything like too much like magic for her to be like shown doing. So I was interested. Okay, well, how is she more of the plot? Because especially that one, I guess it was season 2's opener one of where they had the very nice 4-character sequential shot and slow with each one. I was like, okay, these are the main characters. But who is she? What can she do? Okay. Is the biggest thing that I was needing to know. And now I know her name. And I'm like, oh, okay. I can start to see a little bit more of an archetype. But the biggest one that stood out to me, blue-haired boy.
Yes.
And because of his name, and because you told me that he is the Magi that should not belong,
yes,
is probably going to make him the very interesting character, other than the idea that we already have Alibaba.
Yes, yes.
I think it's all over the place by me already having like the knowledge that these names and characters exist from 1,000 Nights, but now it's in an anime format.
Yes.
But other than names, there's very little similarities.
Yeah, I was about to say.
So
it's a very loose adaptation. Yes.
So it's no different than going to space and your ship being called the Argos or your crew being called the Argonauts.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with Jason and his adventures in ancient Greece.
Yes.
Other than name alone.
All right. Well, that was the reaction to Magi, Labyrinth, The Kingdom, and The Adventures of Sinbad. So, yeah, what did you think? Would you want to try and check that one out?
I would, actually. It's something that I want to see where it goes.
Okay.
Because it's the things that I do know, but the things that I absolutely do not, and I want to see if they pull it off. And if I already got that other, like, spin-off, sequel, prequel,
yes.
Then why not wait for season 3 when they finally go to the Dungeon of Magic?
Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, I don't believe that they're animating any more of Magi. I will 100%. They have not directly canceled this, but it's been done for years. The only reason why I didn't think that they were animating it before was because it's kind of like where One Piece is now, where they're animating the episodes of a story that they haven't finished writing out. And so I understood why it wasn't coming out then. Now it's been a while. they could do it, and to be honest, they didn't continue Sinbad's adventures either. So it got the one season and it didn't finish what his adventure was, because it was supposed to build up to who he is in Magi. And we don't see all of it. We don't get to see all of his retainers that help him later, which is what the story was supposed to be about, how he recruited them.
You just need to be a patient fan. Just wait.
I'm patient enough. It's been some years. It's been so long that I watched people watch it for the first time and then asked when it was coming out. And years ago, I had to be like, yeah, I don't think they're doing this one anymore.
I think it's time to just finally let go.
But
our hero is not coming back from war, and stuff like that.
That's why I had to think about your first question of where we would, or your second question of where we would start the show, because I actually started our friend Kelvin, aka Kame Huxtable. I actually started him in the manga towards the end, because that Magi does like this whole thing with arguing philosophy a lot better than most anime do, because they're actual good philosophical questions of, if you were in this position, would you do this? Okay. And it makes more sense than like the typical I'm the bad guy versus you. You would obviously be me.
Do they have a great episode in which, if you're flying the magic carpet and you have only 2 set train tracks to go upon with your flying carpet, one kills one person and the other one kills 8, what do you do morally? Does this philosophical question come up?
Well, that's one more question than what you got.
Damn it.
So, that being said, guys, that was Magi. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed Matt's reaction to the show,
I did.
be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video with people that you think might enjoy it too. That way they can hop on the Magi train, and then eventually when I start showing him the shows, I might either record us doing full episodes, or I might record us doing like specific parts that I know are going to be things to get you hyped about the show. But that'll be all for this one, guys. I'll check you in the next one, and so will Matt. He might not know it yet. But be brave, be bold, be you, and hopefully we will be in your future. Later.
Later.